Uh,
Did you post the new one yet?
no, I'll post it after.
Yeah.
Probably tonight or something. I don't know. Whenever.
I don't know. Watch out for when Jeremy's streaming.
Yeah, I know. I have to do that all the time now. And welcome to the Stupid Nerdcast! Today we have level 20 Cleric as Juan, and Raziel something as Zach, and Spider-Mat as... And of course, Stupid Nerdman as Jordan. Let's begin.
So do you have anything that you did this week, Jordan, that you want to talk about?
You mean aside from the fact that we had to take Yen to the emergency vet twice?
Oof.
Yeah, talk about that.
Okay, so Yen started, I took Yen out for a walk, a normal walk around the block like I do when, I can't take him into the backyard. And a couple hours later, I'm feeding him, and I don't notice it because I'm feeding him, because I think, maybe he just has a bunch of food in his mouth. But then Diana comes home like an hour after that, and she notices his face is swollen. So we take him to the emergency vet. He possibly had an allergic reaction, so they gave him something to help with an antihistamine and told me to give him Benadryl every day. Next day, I give him Benadryl every 6 hours, and he starts vomiting up water like crazy. So I had to take him to the vet again. And apparently he was having stomach issues.
Are
With
these stomach issues related to the food he's been eating, or they're different?
They're different. They're just the vet said that it could have also been possible it was caused by the allergies.
Okay.
Like an aftermath thing. So it was just a very scary and frustrating week.
Yeah, that doesn't sound any good.
Yeah, but he seems like the last couple days, yesterday and today and the day before yesterday, he's been, acting more like his normal self. He's not moping around and not willing to get up anymore. He's able to get up and wants to go outside again and everything. But I can't take him around the block anymore. I can't risk that. That was just too much. It scared the shit out of both of us.
Yeah, I was outside playing fetch with the dogs when Diana came home, I guess.
Yeah.
I know, because I heard her screaming in the room, and I was like, what happened?
I honestly didn't even notice because I thought it was just, him having food in his mouth. And then I guess it just started happening and got really bad in the hour.
That happens sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
If you, I guess you probably don't remember, but like, I think it was the first or second summer after I got Riley, I let her outside for like 20 minutes or something, and then I brought her in, and her head was covered in hives.
Yeah, I don't know if I was at the house still, because I was still at the house, wasn't it?
Yeah, you would have still been then, because it was her like first summer, so
Oh.
you didn't leave until like her third year or something.
Oh.
She's 6 now, but almost 7. She'll be 7 next month,
Oh,
or
okay.
2 months from now. So anyway, I like kind of freaked out, and then I looked up what you're supposed to do if your dog is having an allergic react or topical allergic reaction. The first thing you do is bathe them. If it goes away from you bathing them, then you just don't worry about it. But if it doesn't, then you take them to the vet.
Yeah, it didn't
But
go
only
away.
if it's a topical. If it's
The swelling isn't topical.
Yeah. Swelling's not topical, but like hives are, and like itchy skin is.
Right. Yeah. Well, he also did have hives and itchy skin. Diana gave him a bath, but he still has hives. A little bit.
Yeah. It's only if it goes away instantly, because then it's like something that they were allergic to, but it was probably something that they're only allergic to while it's touching them.
Right.
And then, that was kind of scary. She still gets bumps every once in a while, but not that often.
Right.
But yeah, she's allergic to something that happens during the summer, and it just causes her head to explode.
Well, yeah. And why do dogs have to have allergies? Why can't dogs just be perfect?
Yeah,
Never
like,
have health issues.
What was the other one? The parvo scare when we got Nami.
Yeah, that was scary. Because right
Parvo is a
after
very scary disease.
you found out that, all of a sudden Zelda started having a little bit of diarrhea, and it was like, oh shit.
Yeah,
But
you have to like settle because parvo can kill your dog within 2 weeks or something.
yeah. Honestly, the amount of vomit Yen was vomiting, what was it, Sunday, I think? The amount of vomit he was doing, it almost was like parvo levels. He was...
Scary.
Yeah, it was scary. When we took him to the vet, they had to put in an IV and everything. Like how they have to treat someone who has parvo.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've been giving him a little bit of Pedialyte with his water pretty much every day. Multiple times a day, just to make sure that he's getting okay, you know?
Yeah.
He's starting to not have as much diarrhea, but he's still having a little bit of diarrhea. He's not vomiting anymore, though.
Okay. Juan, do you have anything to say that happened to you this week that isn't nearly as dark?
No, I mean, most exciting thing I probably did this week is I went grocery shopping. That's about it. And
Okay.
that happened. I didn't get cut off. I got in, got out. Yeah. So
Okay.
Okay.
there's some good news there.
Yes.
But no, that sounds horrible. I know
Yeah.
when I first got my cat Loki, he basically came home with like a little kennel cough, which is pretty normal. They're adapting to a new environment and everything, and who knows what's going around, like the pound or whatever. But like shortly after that, he started having like these like just straight up coughing fits and would start shivering and shit like that. Like it was really bad. So I had to take him to the vet like right away. So I get it, man. When these pets start acting sick, like you have no idea what to really do with them. You're not sure what you can give them, what you can do for them. Yeah, it's just nerve-wracking stuff, man.
That,
Yeah.
and most of the time vets are extremely expensive. You can't really you can't afford it most of the time.
Yeah, the problem is also that a lot of times when you need a vet, it's the difference of your dog or cat like surviving or not.
Yeah.
So like it kind of makes sense on the pricing because like this thing's gonna die, you have to do something crazy to like save it sometimes.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, you're like, you know, I like not to lose my house.
I don't have
Yeah.
$1,000 in my bank account right now.
Yeah, especially during the pandemic, it's like really fucked up the way everything just fucking sucks when something happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like I'd love to save your life, but I can't afford to not pay rent for like the next 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things with like Nami, as soon as we were done with the parvo, she came back from the hospital with kennel cough. It was like, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, at the very least, she was fine. Like, she was acting fine. She was just coughing, which is like, you're supposed to basically ignore it at that point. And I'm like, yeah, except for the fact that she gets into like little coughing fits every 3 or 4 hours, which means you don't sleep well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, anyway, so then, let's move on to what I've been doing this week. This week, at the start of the week, for some reason, I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna play Warframe and grind out the last, like, 3 parts of every Warframe I have in my inventory that haven't crafted.
And how'd that go?
So I have now crafted Lavos, who is the second to most recent Warframe, Sevagoth, which was the most recent Warframe, Octavia Neja Prime, and Octavia and Inarus Prime, and I'm still grinding out that last piece of Neja Prime because nobody sticks around in any fucking void thing. I have to say,
Yeah.
this is my main complaint about public games in Warframe, and I don't know if this carried over to any other console, but on PC, like almost nobody goes past round A on any endless.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know on Xbox normally they would hang out to like round B or C. Like if we're talking like what's the one XP mission that everyone runs? Hydroid? No, something. You know what I'm talking about? The XP
Yeah.
one. Yeah, normally people hang out to like round B or C, and after that they're all out. But like no one
Yeah.
goes like endlessly for hours or anything.
Yeah, I know, but like when you do fissures, generally you want to go to the first restart because you want
Yeah, at least.
the 4 rewards and then like the special relic. And the fact that nobody, like I think I played like 17 endless missions or void fissure missions, and I didn't get past wave 3 on any of them because everybody abandoned on wave 2 or 1. And I'm like, I'm trying to level up my brand new frames. I'm trying to do this other stuff. I kind of want other people here. I want a chance of me trying, or like more chances of me trying to get this Neja piece because maybe somebody else has the relic.
Yeah.
And like the whole time, everybody's just abandoning like right away. And it's like, come on.
Like you might have some luck just going into like either your clan chat or like even the trade chat or something and seeing if people just want a relic share, but yeah, just jumping into randoms though, you know, no one will stick around.
Yeah, it like really sucks. I don't like I'm like, why are you even playing an endless? There's a capture on the same fucking difficulty. If you want to only do round 1, do that.
Right.
It takes like a capture takes like a minute or 90 seconds.
Yeah, dude, especially if you're like a Volt or something.
Yeah, like it takes no time at all. Do a fucking capture. Like get the fuck out of these endless. If you're not willing to go to at least round 4, I don't want to see you in endless. Yeah, this fucking sucks. So far I built and have played also the 2 new ones. I haven't played the brand new primes, but I mean they're basically the same as the regular one with like some extra mod capacity.
Yeah, maybe higher armor, energy, but that's about it.
Yeah, but it's like it's something that modifies what was already good about them. It's not like
Yeah.
something actually matters.
One thing I can kind of appreciate though, it's not like the Prime is so grossly better than the original that like it feels like it's worthless to have the original. Like it's just a slight upgrade. So
Yeah, and I mean it is enough of an upgrade for you to throw the original away, but the fact that they put in the whole for like I guess Jordan, and if you started now new too, like any of the originals that you craft, you just dump it in your fucking Audrey 2 in the back of your ship.
oh yeah.
You
Just
know,
feed the element or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Audrey 2 is the plant from Little Shop of Horrors. Anyway, so because that's what it looks like. I have like 8 flowers or something up there of all my regular frames that have upgraded to primes over time that I still have the irregulars of.
It's funny though, because like when I had first gotten, because Valkyrie was my main, when I first got Valkyrie Prime, like it felt wrong just selling my original Valkyrie. I'm like, I spent so much time with you, and I'm gonna throw you away for your gilded sister.
Yes. Fucking Valkyrie Prime. Valkyrie Prime came with those fucking claws, and they are the most broken shit. Oh my god, if they had slightly larger range, they would be OP as fuck.
Oh yeah, that's the one thing that holds them back.
Yeah, that's the one thing that holds them back. And guess what happened when I opened a Riven for them? It gave them range, gave them crit, and it gave them base damage.
Oh man,
Those things have like 160% crit chance. They're so disgusting. That's what with just like that Riven and like the fucking Umbra mods. It's just so gross. I can hit everybody from forever away, and it just eats the whole mission. I love those claws so much. But anyway, my opinion of the 2 newer frames. Lavos is weird as fuck to use. So he has a 0% energy bar. All his stuff functions on cooldown.
It's interesting.
Which I was like, well, how does that work with the railjack, which functions off your energy bar? Like, that's how it uses its abilities now, instead of having its own energy bar. And then D's like, oh, when he does it, they just all have cooldowns instead. And I'm like, that feels OP as fuck.
How long are the cooldowns?
Not very long.
Okay.
The missile barrage is one of your strongest abilities. Like, it'll clear the sky like instantly, and it's like a 12-second cooldown or something. So like, he's so fucking good. As like a railjack pilot, he's fun to use in that position. But he's also generally kind of fun to use. He's a bit weird. So each of his abilities is like an ability on its own. Like, the first ability, he like does like a whiplash attack. His second ability, he slides forward. His third ability, he throws out this little projectile that zaps people. And his fourth ability, he shoots this giant fire spinny wheel. Now, if you hold the button down, it will imbue the next ability he uses with the element that is tied to that ability.
Okay.
So if you want to do like viral damage, you hold down 1 and then 2, and then you press whatever ability, and then it'll do viral damage plus whatever its base is. Which is fucking nuts. Like, he always has the right weakness. His AoE is bullshit.
This sounds like how Chroma should play, if you asked me, you know? But okay.
Oh yeah,
cool.
he's so fucking nuts. He mixes like chemicals all the time. He looks kind of cool. His fucking spamming shit. His idle animations is he has this snake on him and it like wiggles around his body. Oh my god, he's so fucking nuts. Like, he AoE wipes everything. I was leveling him up on what is it? Sanctuary Onslaught, because it's literally like you run it once and everything's level 30.
Right.
I was doing that, and like, once you pass level 10, it's like you instantly spike up to like top damage. It's like when you play Mesa on fucking anything, the first time you forma her, it's like the second she hits level 10, she just spikes up to top damage of beats everybody else on the map.
Yep. Press 4 and win.
He's so fucking gross. Like, so his third ability, it does little lightning attacks as it goes through. Every time it procs lightning, it will reduce the cooldown of every other ability. Every time it passes by a pickup, it will transform that pickup into a universal pickup. So all ammo becomes universal ammo, and all health and mana become a health and mana orb. Which is like fucking nuts. So he's like always good, and like he gives people like, so he's good as support. He's like amazingly good as damage.
Thank you.
He's super fucking tanky. He has like 900 armor or something, and like I think 3000 HP at max level.
Nice.
He has like no fucking shield, but like, who fucking needs shield when you have fucking adaption and crazy armor?
Yeah.
He's so much fun to play. And then I played Sevagoth, who looks really cool, and I thought would be like really fun to play. And then I did not enjoy playing him at all, which means I was probably playing him the worst way you could ever play him. And then on top of that, he's disappointing because he is the most forma-hungry frame in the game.
Yeah, doesn't he have like, he himself can be formed, and then like there's some sort of like other like ability he has, and then an exalted weapon or some shit?
Yeah, so he has an exalted form and an exalted weapon.
Yeah, that's
Which
bullshit.
means he has 3 times the forma to get him into the place you want him to be.
Yeah, no, I'm good on that.
And it's like, I don't know how to even begin to forma him, because I'm like, I don't even know what I would want to do. I kind of want to do what the umbral mods for the damage, but I don't feel like they're actually that good on you, because I'd have to forma for them because they're fucking expensive as fuck, and you would need one for each of your things, which means I'd have to forma you or I'd need a minimum 3 or 4 of them to be able to use them all. Fuck, he's gross. I do not. That on its own almost put me off playing it all. I guess the good side would be that if you're forming his forms and his exalted weapon, you can leave him at 30 so that you can keep using them as you're forming them. Because his exalted form is like really strong, but I can't use it. I just don't get the hero. Like he feels gross to me. It's weird. I think I've never felt this much like I just don't understand how to play this frame at all in Warframe.
Yeah, for the most part, a lot of them are pretty straightforward. But
Yeah, like even when I disliked them, like it wasn't like I disliked them because I didn't really get how to play them. Like Frost, I don't really like to play Frost, but at the same time, I
nobody
know
likes
like
to play Frost.
roughly how to play Frost. You get like adaption and max shield and like the Umbra mods, and you just never die.
Yeah, and just spam snow globe and ruin everyone's day. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then you just snow globe and get the one mod that makes it so anytime someone steps into snow globe, they freeze solid. Just do a defense and just sit there for 40 minutes and nobody can ever kill you. Yeah, they do it with a speed bus, so it actually doesn't take you 40 minutes to get to like around 80. Fuck. That's a good combination actually. Speedva and Frost. Fuck, that'd be good. Anyway, I don't know. I've been playing the fuck out of the Railjack mode though, because Railjack gives you so many void traces when you're trying to actually open relics.
That is nice.
And because I can't get past wave fucking 2 on Endless with anybody because everybody abandons. There haven't been like a good survival or something where I could just solo it and not worry about it. Also survival takes so fucking long to get a decent amount of traces. Yeah, it just kind of sucks. So instead I've been doing the Railjack one, which the Railjack doesn't always give you the bonus traces, but when it does, on like the high level ones, it's like 50 traces. So it's like opening 2 or 3 relics. And it doesn't take the amount of time of opening 2 or 3 relics, unless you were doing Disruption and, you know, fucking got good on the drops, the reactive drops. Disruption's such a good mode. Anyway, so that's probably all I have to say about Warframe right now. I'm gonna play shit more once my fucking primes finish the day after tomorrow, but oh god, those primes are gonna be so much fun to level. Fucking Octavia. Ugh.
She's definitely one of my favorites when I was playing.
Yeah, like you want to like max out your fucking whatchamacallit, your focus tree in like a day, like all your focus farm every day. Get an Octavia, get her a fucking Lua lens, and then just go to Elite Sanctuary Onslaught and just like press 1, 2, 3, 4 and just keep dancing across those buttons. You fucking max out everything.
What I really liked about her is just how truly unique she was, like having to like, shoot or jump like to the beat of like her song and everything. And then first of all, getting to create your own song that plays and shit while you're running around doing that. Like, yeah, she's really unique for it. And I'm a more musically leaning guy, so if you tell me there's a music frame out there, I'm there.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of people make like different songs for it and like show you how to do it and like which instruments you probably want to use to try and get the best sound. For mine, she plays Smoke on the Water, I think is what she plays.
Nice. I think when she first came out, I spent like just hours sitting there on her little music thing, just making random songs.
Yeah, I think they don't. I think it's the instrument that they don't have like a really good instrument to do like Another One Bites the Dust, which I think is why most people don't have it. I think also Another One Bites the Dust is like 1 or 2 notes, like its loop is like 1 or 2 notes too long for it to work to loop correctly with her thing, because her thing is like a specific amount of notes to loop it, and I think that one loops like just slightly too long or too short. to where it just doesn't sound right when it hits the loop. Whereas Smoke on the Water is like the opening bars or whatever. The what is it? The dun 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 dun.
Yeah, because her stuff's pretty much set up like where you get 4 measures of 4/4, and you get 16 notes in each measure, so it's very even. You can't really do a whole lot with it, but yeah.
Yeah. So you need something that like sounds right, or the instrument is right. Like I mean, I find it silly that like an instrument costs like 20. Was it 20 platinum or whatever? But it's like 20 platinum's like fucking nothing. Like go grab yourself a fucking corrupted mod from the derelict and sell it at Maru. You'll get fucking 20 platinum. Buy all of them. Fuck. Yeah, or fucking kill whatchamacallits. Keep pissing off what's his name? What's the guy who sends the people after you? What are they, the Goose Drag 3 or whatever?
Yeah.
You like you piss them off, get them to come after you. When they drop the ship part, go and sell it. You can sell that thing for like 200 platinum or something.
Bam! Now you got like half the instruments.
Yeah. The thing's easy as shit to farm. Or piss off the fucking Shadow Stalker. Everybody has his piece, which is the only reason I'm not advising doing the Shadow Stalker way. But the other 2 pieces from Goose Drag 3 and whatever the other thing is, I don't remember what the other one's called. Zanuka.
Yeah.
Zanuka, like piss them off all the time. Just do fucking whatever over and over again until they come hunt you down. They take like 2 seconds to kill, like they're no problem.
Yeah. I love whenever Goose Drag invades and Lotus is like, "Oh my god, get out of there, like abandoned mission." And you're like, dude, I'm just gonna kill them in one shot, like it's not a big deal.
Yeah, and then afterwards she's like, "Good thing everybody made it out alive. Listen to me next time and abandon the mission." And I'm like, once upon a time these guys were kind of scary, but that was back when I was like MR7 and I'm like MR29 now. Come on.
Yeah.
All my Warframes start with like the 2 Umbral mods and like can't be killed. Fuck. Yeah, like fucking really high MR is like really silly. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say about Warframe right now. So anyway, I wanted to move on to the segment about the Dota Pro circuit, which I said I was going to do back in episode 1, but never did. And so what did I want to talk about? Did I want to talk about the drama? No, let's see the drama closer to the end because I wanted to cover some of the earlier stuff. So last month, I didn't talk about it, but I probably should have. We had the first major since lockdown. I think the last major was just before, or no, I think we had like maybe 1 major or something before lockdown actually happened, and then we like had to cancel a bunch of shit. So anyway, the major is the giant, usually LAN. I don't think this one was LAN. Oh no, this one was the first LAN. Okay, so this was the first. Last month was our first LAN big tournament of like the whole thing. Coming into the tournament, everybody was like, Europe's the best. Europe's gonna like really show us how it's done. Europe's got everything. They're like the most competitive scene. And at the end of the day, no European team got above 4th place. Instead, the top 2 teams, the top 3 teams, 2 of them were Chinese because China's like the best Dota players in the world. And then the 2nd place was Evil Geniuses, who are our boys, the Americans.
Oh yeah.
So our boys got 2nd place. I believe this is the current team, maybe? One with Arteezy still on the roster. Yes, this is the team with Arteezy. Arteezy carries this curse, which is that every time Arteezy has played with Evil Geniuses at TI, they have not won. And the one time they did not play with Arteezy and TI, they did win. So he carries the Arteezy curse. So every time they go play anything, everybody's like, is the Arteezy curse going to show up? They're going to not win. And they did not win this major, but they did get second place. So that's, of the Western teams, they had by far the best showing.
As long as we beat the Europeans, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, the Europeans are some of the best players, so it's kind of scary. So anyway, on to more recent. So recently we've been doing the new DPC season, which is setting up for the next major and like how that's going to play out. So we've got the Dream League season, which is Western Europe, ESL, which is Eastern Europe, the Chinese bracket, which is the Perfect Worlds thing, and the American one, which is hosted by Beyond the Summit. And all of them are currently going, so nobody's won yet. However, it is very unlikely that anyone outside of Evil Geniuses or Quincy Crew is likely to win the American group because they have lost 0 games so far. And that's a pretty good, impressive showing in this kind of tournament. So those are like our two top standing teams, are EG and Quincy Crew. Undying is our third. They've lost once. They've lost once. But so they've got like the biggest chance of actually coming around. I think the game's still to be played though are EG versus Quincy Crew, which is very likely could determine whether or not they stay in the top 2 places. And then Quincy Crew versus Undying, which is also going to determine those games are going to determine who's in the top 3. Is basically our top 3 all have to play each other except for EG versus Undying, which I think is the game that Undying lost. Yes. They lost to EG. So in American division, that's kind of cool. So we're likely to see Evil Geniuses go straight to the major. Maybe Quincy Crow too. Who knows? So the way that things are going to work for these season tournaments is that first place is guaranteed playoffs. Second place is going to be guaranteed group stages, and then third and fourth places in some regions, not all. For example, American region, they get nothing. But in China, for example, they will get into the wild card, and the wild card is that like everybody will play against each other to see if they'll play in the group stages. So that's going to be kind of interesting. So those are the people whose positions are not assured. And then the group stages, I think like the last 2 teams in the group stages or whatever will be knocked out from the playoffs, so they won't get to play a big tournament. But anyway, so the one we're going to talk about right now is Dream League. And there's a reason for this. So Dream League, this will lead into the drama. So Dream League has some of our best teams because this is the European League and it's very close. But the clear front runners are Alliance. Now, I should probably say this in the order. So do you want me to say this in the order of events or start with the drama and then go back to the order and explain how it happened?
Probably lead in with the drama and then let's figure out how we got there.
Okay, so on Twitter, OG accused Alliance of cheating. They were accused of cheating because on their social media profile, Alliance played a back room of the game of this their game against one of the other teams, right? So it was them playing against one of the other teams. And what can be heard clearly in the background while they are playing the game is their coach saying that their bottom lane tower is under attack. Now, the coach is not a member or playing the game. Right. He's just in the room and commenting on the game as it is happening. In Dota 2, traditionally, this has not been allowed. Ever, under any circumstances. for some reason, in an email that Dream League, I think it was Dream League, sent to everybody who was participating in this tournament, said that it would be okay for the coach to be in there and whatever the coach was going to say to them during the game. And so the drama started up because what? You know what I mean? Like, Dream League changed a fundamental rule that has been in place for like the last few years since coaches have been a thing.
Which is that changed it on a whim.
I think they changed it because they didn't think they could enforce it, so they didn't want to have it as a rule so that the players couldn't break it. Which, on the one hand, sure, your players aren't breaking a fucking rule because you made it not a rule. On the other hand, I don't know how many of the European teams would have done it either way. Simply because they're used to their coach being there at like the pick stage and then leaving. Because that's how TI is handled. That's how all the majors are handled. That's how everything they've played up to this point has been handled. But for some reason, Dream League changed it, but it was changed like where it was like a single line of like a very long email. So it was very easy for a lot of players to miss, which I think is what happened, is that a lot of players missed that this was a thing or weren't informed that this was a thing because even Dream League didn't think it was that important of a change. And Alliance took advantage of this change and had their coach in the game with them, which is what the rules said they could do. This exploded basically on Twitter with members of Team OG going like, they basically fucking cheated. And I mean, look at the effect. Alliance was like 5-1 or 4-1, like when this came out, which is like the top seat of their whole bracket. Like, you know, it didn't really feel fair for a lot of people.
I mean, yeah, definitely gives an advantage if you have one guy whose sole job is just to sit there and examine what's going on and then try to direct people. So,
yeah, so it did not feel good. To be fair, I think the game that they streamed from the back room where he is helping them is a game that they lost. So it's also showing that it wasn't like, you know, game breaking, but it is kind of unfair. The most, I think, professional players are of the stance that they don't want this to ever become a thing. It's been brought up to Valve as to whether or not they would allow it to become a thing, and Valve has flat out said no in every international sort of level event or major level event. Dream League was the one that changed this, not Valve. And then in response, I think, to all the controversy, Valve came forward and were like, you guys have to change this back. You can't have it this way. There's a reason we have this. Like, just don't do it. We don't want the game to become like every... The problem that a lot of people could see is that like every captain player who's like really good at understanding the map but maybe lacking a little bit in technical skill will suddenly become into a coach position, and like a other player is going to be in that position, like somebody who's technically better, which is not what I don't think that's what Valve, and I know that's what a lot of pro players do not want to happen to the game. They want to have the captain be, you know, the guy there in the game with them, like on top of things. Not like the guy who's watching them over their shoulder.
Right.
But yeah, so Valve immediately like forced the change and was like, no, this has to be true the whole time, which is that coaches should not be in there. I'm sorry that you guys thought you couldn't enforce this, and so like threw a whole fucking thing about it and then caused No Tail to freak out on Twitter. But you know, which is also kind of funny because I don't think it was Alliance, I think it was VP, accused OG of cheating years ago because of the fact that OG got like a life coach to like help them understand how to make it their way into like TI and shit, like how to balance their stress levels and stuff. And they won TI. But VP kind of accused them of cheating because I think a couple of them, like as they were going through the whole thing, they found out like they had ADD and like started taking Ritalin. And people think that Ritalin is Ritalin is a stimulant, right?
Right.
But like it's like people think it gives you an unfair advantage in games like Dota 2, which I think is yet to be proven. But I've heard that in League, I think it was alleged that some people were taking it to get that edge. But whether or not it was proven that they were doing it because of that, or if the fact that, because like the other problem of this argument is that it's also potentially possible that people with ADD who need to be on Ritalin are the ones who scale up to become professionals in this field. So, like,
Right.
so it's really hard for you to go like, oh, taking ADD gives you this performance enhancer, or Ritalin gives you this performance enhancer in these games, as compared to the alternative, which is potentially that having ADD or ADHD and taking Ritalin puts you in a position to where you have an advantage in these games instead. It's very complicated. I think it also carries with it the whole stigma of America and America in the 90s, early 2000s, where they were overdiagnosing ADD and ADHD.
Definitely.
But yeah.
Who would have thought, like, juicing in esports would be a thing?
Yeah. And the problem is that nobody really knows if it's a real thing or if it's just kind of an idea.
Right, like like an athlete, like an NFL player taking a steroid, that's cut and dry. That's him taking an unnecessary enhancer. Whereas some guy just taking medicine that makes him not constantly feel, on edge or anxious or unable to focus. Like he needs that. Like
Yes.
it's not him taking it to cheat. It's him taking it to feel like a normal person.
Yeah, what is it? It's Ritalin and Adderall, I think, are like the two ones, and I don't remember which one's for which and how they treat them and which one what does what.
Yeah, I always heard those as being like the things, like college students would take to stay up all night and study for a big test or something. So I could see how maybe someone would want to use that for like to enhance like while they're playing a video game or something.
Yeah, but whether or not it would actually work and whether or not these people don't actually have ADHD or ADD is like it's like
territory.
It goes really dangerous territory. So yeah, that's most of this drama for Dream League. The other thing is, of course, because I think today and tomorrow are it's within the next week, we find out like who's gonna win. I think second and third place. So we also have no idea what's happening in Dream League. All we know is Alliance is very likely assured their spot. I don't think they can lose at this point. Yeah, their last game was today and they just smashed it. They're guaranteed major playoffs. We don't know who's going to be second place, which is group stage, and then who knows about wildcard. I hope OG gets in there because OG did the whole thing. So the meme that I posted in our Discord was what is it, Anna? Okay, so let me pull that up for myself so I can remember what happens. So Anna is the player that's photographed in that picture. And what happened, the meme that was happening just before, between these same two teams, by the way, was before they played in this season, as we were running up to the season, Anna was currently off not playing. And Secret had tweeted on to them like the major is coming up or like TI season's coming up, like break in case of emergency, and it's a picture of Anna. And they were tweeting that to OG. They were like, "Come on, bring Anna back out because you guys need Anna." And then like a few days later, I think in Dream League, OG played against Secret and won, I think. I'm trying to find this game. Yes, they 2-0'd them. So then like in response, OG's like, how you feeling about that now? And so then OG Slight posts their part about Anna, which was about the fact that he was like fountain farming the enemy team. I think it was like yesterday or something. It was one of his games. He was just like fountain farming the enemy team. It was like really gross. Like he was that far ahead. And so they're like, this guy slides into your fountain, what do you do? Hashtag Team OG. And the Secret really responds in reference to No Tail calling out Alliance as cheaters, immediately call him a cheater on Twitter. Because they're still pointing out that No Tail got really salty after losing to Alliance a few days earlier because Alliance had their coach in the room. And OG thinks that is cheating. But I believe if it was against the rules, I can almost guarantee you Alliance wouldn't have done it because Alliance is captained or coached or owned, I guess, by one of like a huge. The player who does it is very much like on the side of no, like what this thing is cheating, don't do it. Kind of way that he does it. He there's a famous scene from I think it's TI2 where there was a game with Navi versus Tongfu, and at this point anybody who's seen the game knows what I'm talking about. But so there's a interesting skill interaction. It no longer exists, but it did at the time, which is that Pudge, who is the character, I don't know what his LOL character equivalent will be, but it'd be the character who throws out the hook, catches the guy, and pulls him to you.
Okay,
right.
There's a few different ones that can do that, but okay.
Yeah. But like, there was like a main one in LOL originally that like was basically him. But so he throws out the hook, he catches somebody, and pulls them to you, right? There's another character who can send an ally player back to their fountain. Pudge, the way these skills would interact would be that if Pudge threw the hook before he was sent back to fountain, or as he was sent back to fountain, if the hook connected to an enemy player, he would pull that player to where he was now standing, which was his fountain. So they won the game against Tongfu by throwing hooks, being TP'd back to the fountain, and pulling their carry in with them. And he did this so many times. And the response between the European teams and the Chinese teams was very different. In the Chinese teams, especially Tongfu themselves, it was, you should not have been hooked. The European teams were, this is bullshit, this needs to be removed from the game. Specifically, Loda, who was the guy, basically, who is in charge of Alliance, I think. I think he's still associated with Alliance. He doesn't play for them anymore. But he was the one who was like, no, fucking Navi needs to be disqualified. They should never be allowed to play or the finale because of this. Valve's ultimate ruling was that it was in the game. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, that just sounds cheesy though. Like it's just.
Oh no, it's cheesy. Everybody was in agreement on that. The argument was whether or not it was cheating.
I feel like Valve should have took one look at them and like, yeah, no, that's lame. We're gonna fix that real quick. But
oh no, they did. They fixed the next patch, but
that's good.
It was during the tournament. It's kind of like, you know, like you can't fix something like that like when you have the next game in like an hour.
Definitely, yeah.
But like, fuck, it was a mechanic that was changed because of that game. Now, I'm going to tell you also, before that game was played, basically almost universally Pudge was seen as a pub hero who nobody professionally would play. because he had no strengths professionally and nobody could really play him except for Dendi, who is the mid player for Na'Vi, who is the guy who is playing him in this game. Yeah, so it was pretty good. It was also, they do lose in the final, but it's a very close final. And it was really gross. But it was fun. It was really fun to watch. It's what got me into like Dota 2, was watching TI2. Yeah, that's fun. No, that was TI3 when that one happened. TI3, and then they had to go play against Alliance, who was the people who said that they cheated and should not be in the final. That's what happened. They had to go play against the guys who told them they cheated, and they lost, but man, it was a tough loss. They fought him tooth and nail. It was like a split push fucking nuts. So anyway, back to the thing we actually wanted to talk about today. Classic World of Warcraft TBC pre-patch, which comes out in 3 days, but also mainly Classic World of Warcraft. Let's go.
So, I never played it back in its glorious heyday. I came in at the end of TBC going into Wrath. And, my biggest hang up with like trying out Classic and stuff was just, how begrudgingly slow the game seemed. Like everything just seemed like it was such a, for its time, like a good RPG. Like I get it, but judging it against like, today's RPGs that are so much more fast paced, I thought for sure I wasn't gonna like it. Until finally, like I was like, screw it. Like I'm kind of burnt out on retail. I still want to play something with my friends, so let's try out Classic a little bit. And running around the world doing the quests and just kind of the character building you get along the way feels a lot more rewarding and impactful than it does in retail. Like retail just has like that high octane, high speed, like I don't want to indulge myself in the world. I don't want to do quests. I don't want to do anything. I just want to hit 60 as quickly as humanly possible, and then start playing it like it's just like your typical multiplayer game. I just want dungeon grind. I just want PvP, that kind of stuff. Classic, on the other hand, just feels like it's a little more interesting to play the game. It feels like I actually want to do quest lines. I want to go and see the world. I want to explore and interact with random people. Like Classic, I have random people that we'll be just killing mobs together or whatever, and then we'll party up. We'll go through an area. We'll just kind of clear it together, and that's it. Whereas in retail, that'll never happen. You'll never party up with someone you just see out in the world. You're both just mindlessly slaughtering to get through the daily slog. So it definitely feels like an entirely different game compared to retail. And
when I started playing, I was like, first off, I was a little disappointed that basically Jordan had convinced me that we were going to be playing Alliance, and so I had convinced myself I was going to be my pretty blue shaman tiefling. And then I was like coming in the next day, and then you're like, we're playing Horde, dude. And I'm like, damn it. I'm still going to play my shaman because I've convinced myself that I really want to do it, but now I'm a neon green orc.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Orcs are cool.
And now I'm just a little sad that I'm not my pretty blue tiefling. Because my main thing about not playing a shaman back in TBC originally when it came out was I fucking hated the male fucking Draenei. I did not like anything about them. Like I didn't like their look. I didn't like their animations. Like I thought they were kind of silly and goofy, and it was like, oh yeah. But like I did not enjoy playing them.
They look awful. I'll give you that. But the females do look good.
The females look fine. I think like it feels like a race that was designed the other way around, whereas orcs feel like the males were designed first because they're based on their models from Warcraft 3, and the females feel very much like an afterthought.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, we have to have a female orc. And then you look at it and you're like, did you just take a human and make it a little more hench?
Yep. Paint it green, give it an ugly ass face, and kick it out into the world.
Yeah. Like all the hairstyles are awful. I was like, God, like the female orcs when I'm playing retail, I was like, oh my, like these look fine. And then I went back and was playing classic, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so ugly.
Yep. Yep.
Jordan, are you gonna say anything?
Is Jordan even here?
I don't know at this point. He hasn't said anything for like 40 minutes.
Hmm.
Is he dead?
He might be. Can we get an F in the chat?
Yeah, for Jordan and all of his death.
But yeah, I want to say like pretty much my only gripe so far with it is it feels like classic definitely discourages like playing with your friends, which I feel like kind of defeats the purpose of an MMO. Because like when we were all questing together and stuff, like we had to kill so many mobs to get the drops for all of us, and then
Yeah,
he's so heavily split between us. I was like, like it's faster for us to play it on our own, but like I don't want to play the game on my own.
it's weird. It's very specific, I think, to specific quests that are done that way. Like some work way better. And I think in TBC they're like even better. So like once you hit 60 and move into the Outland, I think everything improves a lot. I don't remember. I haven't played TBC in years, but I do remember that it is one of my original gripes with the original version of World of Warcraft. I think it is very much improved in Cataclysm when they redid the whole map, but
Right.
Cataclysm also had its own share of huge problems. Also, the way I feel about TBC Classic and the way this is going, I didn't even log into retail today. I basically just don't want to play it.
Retail for me is kind of at like I'm just waiting for 9.1 to see if it starts going in a better direction than where it currently is. Because like right now, I don't really have the time to get into like a raiding guild, and then pretty much I only really want to run mythics with you guys. Like I don't really want to pug shit. And then PvP has such a huge gear disparity that it's annoying to do right now. So I really
Yeah,
wanted to see if 9.1 was gonna like, help bridge that gear disparity, help streamline some stuff. Like I want to see if it goes in the right direction. Whereas like with classic, like I know where it's going. I know it's
yeah,
gonna open up into TVC and like there's gonna be some fun stuff to do. So I'm like, okay.
yeah, and it's like the way I feel now. Also, like I don't know if I'll feel this way at the end of it because I'm sure that they're gonna bring out Wrath Classic. I don't know if they're gonna go past Wrath Classic, but they definitely are at least gonna go that far. The way I feel a lot about that is that I'm not even sure I would continue on past TBC. I might try to just play TBC Classic forever, depending on how the servers handle.
Right. I know with the recent discussion they've been doing is like essentially all the servers right now are going to turn into TBC servers, and then people are going to have an option to like transfer back to like a classic only server.
Yeah, the way it's going to work is that in 3 days or whatever, they're all going to be TBC Classic as the main one, and then there's going to be a separate part of the launcher that is regular Classic. And if you click on that, it'll have all the same servers and your characters will be there. And then when you pick your character, you say play them in Classic instead of the other way around. And if you want to do them TBC Classic, you go to the TBC Classic one, which will be the main one now. And then you say, I want to play them in TBC Classic instead.
Right.
And so those are like the two ways. And then you can pay to have a character cloned to play them in both. I think is how you do it.
I love how Blizzard immediately backed down on that obnoxious price tag, which there shouldn't be a price tag to begin with. I already pay $15 a month for your game. Don't tell me it's going to cost me $35 to clone my character or something stupid. But at least they backed it down to 15. But
yeah, 15. I mean, like. So here's my problem is that because when TBC is going to end or whatever, and we're basically going to be in like what, full PvP gear or something, because that's probably my favorite part of Burning Crusade anyway. And we're sitting there and we're like, do we want to stay in TBC or Wrath? And then maybe I want to try to stay in TBC. And then like a week down the line, the servers basically die because everybody abandons it for Wrath. I'm gonna be like really pissed if I've spent $15 now.
Yeah.
Because it's like I don't know. Maybe we'll find out like after this transfer, like how they want to handle it. Because maybe they do. In my opinion, I think late TBC is the best version of World of Warcraft. Like mid to late TBC.
I know it's gonna launch with whatever like the late TBC patch was. So like all the classes are gonna be balanced around like 2.4 point whatever it is. So
yeah,
that's gonna be cool.
Yeah, so like shamans are gonna start with dual wield and shit. And, like, and the other thing about like when you playing, like I was got my talents yesterday or whatever, and I'm like putting my point into my first talent, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, it doesn't matter what I do in 3 days, it's all gonna reset anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why don't I just do like I put like because I put my first talent point in automatically, like being like, okay, I'm gonna play enhancement. This is a good one for playing enhancement when I go dual wield. And then I'm like opening up my menu, and then like 5 minutes after I pick it, I'm like, I could have just done the restoration ones just so that we can just do dungeons until 18th and then not worried about it.
Right.
But I was like, yeah. Because it doesn't matter, because in the 18th they're all gonna reset, and like for the first few dungeons, I mean, first off, it's not gonna matter before what's the dungeon like that would be the first dungeon to matter, like Black Fathom or something would be like the first dungeon where it actually matters whether or not I put any points into restoration or not.
Because like RFC, Dead Mines, fucking Wailing Caverns, like they're all just there's nothing really going on, like just survive. That's it.
Yeah, it's basically like I drop some totems, I don't cast spells, and I wait and I just like keep the guy up.
Yeah.
And in most of the bosses, I'm pretty sure almost all the bosses in Classic before raids and shit like have very limited, if at any, AoEs. Like, so it's like I can just be up there like smacking the guy in the back or whatever while you're doing it and still be able to heal people without having to worry about it.
Yeah.
So I mean, like me having any enhancement stuff isn't going to be that big a deal. But haven't made my decision yet. I think I haven't actually. Was about which secondary tree I was going to get when I get enhancement all the way down. And I think it's probably going to be the resto tree. I know the difference between the two trees is basically whether it's my damage that matters with like my shocks and shit, or it's going to be like your guys' damage that matters because my Wind Fury totem is going to be like cheaper, or my Strength of Earth totem is going to be cheaper, or they're going to be stronger or have a larger AoE. And then I'm like, well, I'm going to be playing a party anyway, so it's probably all the fucking totem ones.
Yeah, dude, you better do that. Feed me that sweet Wind Fury.
And so I might do the thing that I know like some people do. It was a leveling trick they used to do with like alts and stuff, which is that like if your support one was going to be the healing tree, you grab those first, so that like as you're playing with friends, you do this when you're playing with friends or guildies and shit. And then like so as you're like leveling up like pre-60, you have like 50% of like the good healing talents. Like, you know what I mean? Like you grab the ones that you're going to use late game anyway after you maxed out the tree, but you just have them early because they're the ones that are going to matter as you're leveling with your friend.
Right.
I actually really loved the idea that they were like in TVC where they made the decision where they're like you know, fuck shamans trying to have a tank spec because we thought that was gonna work for some reason. It's like, yeah, you gave shamans a tank spec, but like it was so like by the numbers just worse than like a warrior, I think, right? It was just warrior at the time in Classic, like at the late game, that it basically wasn't worth having.
Yeah. Like none of the other tanks were worth having than Warrior, which was kind of depressing. Like when I was looking at Classic stuff, but
yeah, until TVC when like Druid and Paladin were like the best 2 tanks, depending on which you needed for the dungeon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think TBC is when Paladins first get the fucking shield that you throw.
Yeah, I think so.
Fuck, I love TBC. I might play a Paladin again as an alt that I just fucking fall in love with all over again because I love Paladins. In Cataclysm, I think is the biggest time I was playing Paladin. I did play a Paladin at the start, or no, at the end of TPC, but that's around when my guild and shit was falling apart, and I basically wasn't gonna play anymore. And he got to like level 30 or something before we all basically quit.
Gotcha.
So I didn't like really play a Paladin in TBC, and I didn't really play a Paladin in Classic either. My Paladin was like level 50 or something before he quit, and then I played a Warlock until like all the way through until the end of TBC, and that's basically when I stopped playing Warlock because I did not like Wrath version of Warlock. But yeah, I'll probably make a Blood Elf Paladin that I bring up at some point.
I'm hoping that they kind of go for, instead of like, because they're already showing that they don't want to do TBC like exactly how TBC was. So I'm hoping they're going to kind of go for some more of the quality of life kind of stuff. Like, even if they don't give us like, you know, a literal dungeon finder, like still putting in like a looking for group kind of thing like they have in retail right now would be nice. Because it's so much better than me having to sit in town or sit in an area and keep spamming in like the general chat over and over again, you know, looking for group. I'd much rather just put myself on a list and be like, hey, I'm looking for a group, and then do other stuff.
Yeah. I kind of agree with that. Like the Dungeon Finder. When was the real like full Dungeon Finder put in?
Wrath the Lich King. Like halfway through. I think Ice Crown said it was when they first did it.
Okay, because I don't remember, but I feel like in TBC it did have a version of Dungeon Finder, but it wasn't like a real version. It was like you walk up to the dungeon and you'd click on the meeting stone and it puts you in a queue.
So even that wouldn't be too bad, because I could at least go click on the stone and then like wander off and do something else, or just kind of AFK and chill.
Or like if you care about like your side professions or whatever, you just do fishing for a while or something nearby.
Yeah.
Stuff that like, you know, you can care about but like don't have to spend all day on.
So I definitely get how Dungeon Finder kind of ruins like the immersion a little bit. Like you're somewhere and all of a sudden you get teleported to this dungeon. Like it'd still be cool if I had to like go on a list, find my group, and then we all have to actually go and meet up there. But I'd be fine.
I'd be fine with if we just had the other version, like the find a group version or whatever that we have. Like we don't have the proper Dungeon Finder where we have like the pull up a list and cute stuff and like say that I want to do this and shit. Because I think that one's actually much better. I think that would be pretty good because that also realistically is basically the same as me sitting in fucking town and going looking for group. It's just the difference that I could be somewhere else.
I was trying to do that yesterday in Classic. Like I was sitting there in fucking general chat in Orgrimmar trying to find a group for Ragefire Chasm, and like nothing was biting. I'm just like, God, this sucks. I miss Dungeon Finder.
Yeah. I'm like 4 levels or something too low for Ragefire. Yeah. Well, I don't think I'm even that much lower. It's like what, 13 to 18 or something?
Yeah, I went to like 13-ish. We could probably push it. Like we're all intelligent, you know.
Yeah, and it's not like a hard dungeon. I've done Ragefire.
Yeah. So I know my Jordan re-rolled because he started off as Orc Warlock, but he's like, no, I want to do Undead. So I'm like, all right, dude, whatever. Just hurry up and catch up. And then your Jordan, I think he's like 12 or 13 or something. So like all we have to do is go find a tank and we'll be ready to roll.
Yeah, what is our where is he? Like why is he AFK in Discord too?
Like the Twitch stream is live. I'm looking at it. So
yeah, I know. It's like well, I don't want this video where I have to cut out the last 40 minutes and it's us just talking about playing World of Warcraft because we started playing because we waited too long for him.
Right. But yeah. Yeah, no, I'm glad that I gave Classic an actual shot. 'Cause it's been
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, I so many little things in Classic that like just have made me smile and shit. Like where I was just like, oh, I'm having fun. I remember this. This is fun to do. I did install like a bunch of stupid add-ons that like I didn't really have to get. But I did anyway. I got the Move and Improve, which is the one that I use mainly for retail to move. Mostly it's just to move my mini map over to the left-hand side so I can actually use it. But I got that, and then I got like Questy, which basically just marks like everything on my map. So like
Yeah.
I know that it's not, it like kind of breaks the experience a little bit. But at the same time, like original Classic like didn't even show you quest levels and shit without an add-on. Like fuck that. Like it was so hard to figure out what was good and when you were where you were supposed to go. And it's nice to have a add-on where I just press map, I look at all the available quests, and I'm like, okay, this is the one that I should do now because this one's the one that's level appropriate and won't like ditch my other stuff.
I know my Jordan found some other one too that basically like pre-plans the route for you. Like it tells you the exact route to go to hit the quests and stuff. I was like, that's a little extra. I think I'm just gonna plan out my own stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
Questy is nice.
Yeah. I like Questy a bit more than something like that. I've seen some other ones and I was like, I like Questy. Questy feels like better to use. It feels more like it's under my power.
Yeah.
Um,
What's cool too is like if you're in a group and everyone else has Questy, it allows you to see where other people are at with their quests too.
yeah, so it like brings it closer to where it is in retail.
I have something to say.
Yeah, dude.
I just passed out for like half an hour. When did we start talking about WoW Classic?
About 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm up to
Welcome
speed.
back.
I'm up to speed.
Okay.
Did the Warframe talk put you down, or was it the Dota talk?
It was a combination of both. I just kind of knocked out. I don't even know why. Probably from the restless nights this week.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Oh boy.
So what are your feelings on Classic? Who are you playing? A hunter?
At the moment, yeah, I'm thinking I might play a priest if we can't. If you decide you don't want to be a shaman, you want to wait till paladins come out or something, or Jordan doesn't want to be a shaman or something, I might swap over to a priest. But right now, I'm playing hunter. I mean, I might level up a priest anyway, but
No, I'm gonna play shaman, but
you might be tank.
Also play paladin.
Because shamans were able to tank back then, remember?
No, they weren't. They
Kinda.
Spec. It doesn't work. That's not how things work. You don't get a tank spec and then be like, it works. No, it didn't work. It wasn't good. It exists, but it's not good.
Yeah.
I know, it's fucking, you have to, also it's like 5, they're like, the problem also with their tank spec is, I don't know if druids had this problem. I don't think paladins had it, but it's like specific talents that you have to have that you just can't pass up. And the problem is like the other talents are also pretty good for like tanking or like damage sustained, so that you can, actually keep the spec. Like, you have to grab the one that increases your block and dodge chance. You have to take the one that like gives you better stuff, but you want the one that like gives you crit with your fucking melee weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want the one where you can use two-handers or dual wield depending on which version of shaman it is.
Well,
like
whatever you guys decide on, you got to revolve around me because I think I'm set on rogue.
Rogue was a good class,
but I'm gonna stick on shaman for now.
Like once TBC is out, and if I can get a Blood Elf Pally leveled, I might consider going back to tanking just because that is my thing. But as it currently stands, I don't want a warrior tank. I don't want a bear tank, so I'm going to DPS.
Yeah. Paladin tanks will be out in 3 days.
Yeah.
18th. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, you missed my whole spiel about how I was slightly annoyed that Jordan had basically convinced me we were going to play Alliance and that I can play a blue tiefling. And then he's like, and then the next day Juan was like, no, we're playing Horde.
I honestly didn't remember.
What?
I
No,
honestly.
it's
Oh, you were
what?
talking about the other
Not
Jordan?
you.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the other Jordan.
Okay.
It's like he hadn't talked to Juan about it yet. He just told me Juan would definitely play Alliance. That was the conversation.
I
was
just remember Juan texting me, "What faction are we playing?" And I was like, "Horde, I think," because I didn't remember shit.
Yeah, because me and my Jordan were trying to figure out what we wanted to roll. So I'm like, you know what? Let me get another opinion. So I texted your Jordan, and he said Horde. I'm like, okay, well, there's our deciding factor.
I just didn't know.
Yeah.
I forgot. I completely forgot.
I was talking to him like the day before, and I was like, what are we doing? Like, where are we rolling? Like, what are we doing? I hadn't thought about any of that shit. And he started talking about it, and he's like, let's do it on this server. And I was like, I'd mostly want to do like PvP probably. And he's like, well, if we're gonna do that, we should do Ally. And I'm like, okay, so we'll just do Ally on this server, and I'll worry about it on the 18th. And then next day, Juan's like, no, we're Horde.
I mean,
Like,
we're
okay.
only at the Barrens. If we really want to switch over, we can. It's not that big a deal. We can all be tentacle tieflings. Alien tentacle tieflings.
What classes could they play? Is there enough classes to where we would all be
They
fine
could be
with that? No, they
paladin,
can't be rogue.
shaman, they could be mage. Oh, right,
can't
you're
be
right.
rogue.
They can't be rogue.
Yeah, Juan wants to play a rogue, and we're not going to be able to make him have a tiefling rogue, and all the other alliance.
We can
races
summon
stuff.
him. We can summon him.
Fine. It's fine. I'll run around with my, squid girl fucking harem as this greasy little dwarf rogue.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not playing no squid girl. I'm playing a freaking tentacle man. Tentacle spaceman.
Oh,
Gross. Yeah, it very much felt like female Draenei. It was like, oh, we wanted to like add a kind of tiefling race to our game, and then at the same time, it's like the male Draenei. You're like, this doesn't even look like the same species. You look like a Neanderthal versus like a human or a Novian or whatever.
They wanted whatever filled in with like Kill Jaden and shit.
I get that. When they decided that they were all going to be like the same race instead of the Draenei being their own thing.
Mm-hmm. Like the Lost Ones.
Yeah. Because I don't know, but that might have been like a plot point like originally that they had, and then they just like abandoned it, or like it was like in the background and they hadn't really thought that much about it. But
Mm-hmm.
and then in TBC, because I think some of the creative team changed around TBC, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
All I know is my rogue is getting ready to go to Stone Talons, so if we're seriously all thinking about alliance changing, we need to figure that out before I get too far.
Well, if we are gonna alliance change, I'm not gonna play alliance until the 18th. So
Yeah.
And I want to play classic right now. I'm sorry. I'm enjoying classic.
I think we just stay Horde.
Okay,
We're already,
cool.
we're all just.
I'm fine either way. I just might also roll a blue tiefling shaman that I play on the side and don't tell you guys about.
On a different server or something?
Maybe, I don't know. Do they let me do cross faction on the same server?
I don't think so.
On classic or no?
I don't think so. I think it's actually like old World of Warcraft where they didn't.
Okay, then that's fine. Then I might do it on a different server. I don't know.
I mean, if
And
they
maybe
do,
one day
then
we
there's
all
nothing
switch over
stopping
to that
us.
server. Who knows?
Well, the thing is, the server we're on is because it's an RP PvP server, and it's literally the only RP PvP server in the Western Coast for fucking Classic.
Yep.
Oh.
So, if we'd have to go to another server, and we wouldn't be able to do it in RP PvP. It'd just be PvP or RP or whatever. Oh wait, there is no regular RP.
I was so happy yesterday when a fucking alliance was murdering people at the Zeppelin. Like I don't know why, but just the feeling that gave me that was happening right now, which just made me so happy.
Yeah, World
Ganking?
PvP actually being a thing.
Yeah, like it felt weird, right? Because it's like somebody's fucking trolling our side. I won't be able to go use the Zeppelin right now because this guy's fucking murdering everybody on it.
I can't tell
You
you,
could
like,
still
overwhelming
use the
wave
Zeppelin.
of nostalgia I felt when I walked into the Barrens and the first thing I see is the Crossroads is under attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking. Oh my god.
Can never forget
I have to go
Baron's
to the
chat.
Barrens right now to get my stupid fire totem, and I don't want to do it because I don't have enough quests to go to the Barrens yet. And I'm like, I have like 2 quests left in Durtar. Let me finish these first. Why are they higher level? So I'm gonna make my way over to the Barrens to get my fire totem, and then come back and finish my level 12 quests.
Okay, we should probably wrap up. It's been an hour and 20 minutes, 40 minutes of which I probably slept through. Okay. Zach, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me alt-tabbing and ruining everything. But besides that, you can find me over on razielsomething.com, razielsomething at Twitter, and razielsomething on Facebook, both of which are only used to advertise for razielsomething.com. So you go straight there, like you can skip those 2 and don't have to actually follow them.
Do it anyway.
But I write fiction. I like writing fiction. It is a fun thing. I'll probably actually get back into it now that I've been playing WoW Classic instead of retail because I enjoy Classic more. And don't ask me what that has to do with writing fiction.
Probably because it was a little
WoW
better.
ERP.
What?
Said you write WoW ERP.
I do not, but I don't think about not writing it. But it's like one of those things, like when you're an artist and you start putting your stuff and you start thinking about getting a Patreon, and then you realize what people are going to ask you to put on your Patreon, and you're like, God damn it.
Is it worth it? Probably.
Is it worth it? Like, I have to make this in like 7 layers so we can have 1 layer be her underwear. 1 layer be her fully clothed.
Okay, that's
1 layer
enough.
be between.
That's enough.
We respect women on this channel.
We respect women on this channel. Yeah, we're not ninja. Anyway, so the third thing, one last thing that I wanted to mention a while ago, forgot completely about it because Jordan fell asleep. We're gonna blame it on that.
Yeah, sure.
There is now a Dota 2 extension for Twitch when people are playing that will allow you to see tooltips and shit about the game and like the items they're buying and who they're playing and stuff like that. And recent changes made to that character. So if you are watching Dota 2 on Twitch, it is actually a much easier experience if the streamer has downloaded that add-on, and currently it is the 2nd most downloaded game add-on on Twitch.
That's actually really cool.
Yes, it is really cool. The LOL, I guess, equivalent is like 5th place, so which like means something because LOL crushes Dota 2 viewership most of the time. Except when the international is around, because then Dota crushes everything. Alright, Jordan, tell him where to find you. Oh, right, Juan, tell him where to find you.
Ganking noobs in Stranglethorn Vale.
We're not that high yet.
We're
But
good.
we will be. And we will be doing it. Get ready to be frost shocked every 6 seconds. I'm going enhancement. It's gonna fucking happen. I know that's elemental where you actually get to do that, but I'm doing it anyway. Jordan, your turn. Go. Where find you?
You can find me
Sleeping
right.
on his desk.
Probably, yeah. You can find me right here, depending on how you're watching me, which is YouTube, the Stupid Nerdcast channel, or right here, depending on how you're watching me, which is twitch.tv/stupidnerdcast, or Stupid Nerdman, which we stream the Nerdcast live every Saturday, where around like 1 to 2 o'clock Pacific time, and also follow us on Twitter at Stupid Nerdcast, and to know when we're going live. We usually post it on there when we go live. So, Spider-Matt, tell them where they can find you. Great! Thank you for watching! Bye-bye!
And remember to think, Mark, think!